Just me. We'd like to welcome you to Fabric Chicks Live at noon. We're going to be interviewing Lorraine Turner. She's got a new fabric line coming out called Migrations. But just a sneak peek, well, it's not really a sneak peek because I should have had this sample done a long time ago, but I just pulled it off the long arm this morning. So on Monday, I'm going to be demoing how to do a flange binding, but this is the quilt with Lorraine's Calico horses.
Greta Boyer's watching.
So here
Dorothy
is
Gerard
just kind
is
of a
watching.
big one. It's like a good sized twin.
Peggy is watching.
So it uses
Gloria is watching. Michelle is watching.
Hi, girls. Okay, welcome. Welcome to Fabric Chicks at noon. And we've got Lorraine Turner as our special guest. So we're skipping our sale this week, so don't be too upset. We will do it next week, and we are kind of cleaning up. So we'll have lots of giveaways, and a lot of new lines have come in over this week. So stay tuned for next Friday for our big sale. It'll give your pocketbook a chance to recover. So this is our latest quilt with Lorraine Turner's Messengers, and we will have kits available for next Friday's sale. And on Monday, we'll be demoing how to do the flange binding. So, all right, Roger, I can take it. We're going to turn it over and welcome Lorraine. Hang on a second. Okay, Lorraine, how are you?
Very good, very good.
All right, so we have a new line coming out in January. You want to tell us about that?
Yes. So, hello, everybody. It's nice to be back at Fabric Chicks Creative Oasis. It's always fun to be here. I'm going to, let me see if I can you turn me around? Yes, flip. So I'm going to be talking about, whoa, let me just fix this like that. I think that's better. I'm going to be talking about migration. Now, this is what Beth and stores get. They get what's called our sales kit, and this is migration, and you may have seen it on the internet. Free Spirit has been featuring it. So this is the only thing that Beth gets. She gets this cardboard thing. Beth, did you get one this year?
No, I haven't gotten one yet.
Okay, so she hasn't even gotten one, and she has to go and rely on going on the internet to see what the heck the fabric even looks like. So this is all she gets.
Well, in the olden days, the reps would have brought me color, like fabric samples or the color cards you're showing. But right now, we're not even seeing reps because they don't want to venture out.
Ah, okay. So that's what I'm hearing, Beth. So that's why it's important for people that are watching, if they're interested in the fabric, to let you store owners know, hey, I want that fabric. So this is what my sales kit looks like. It's got, it shows a quilt with the fabrics made up. It has another quilt on the back called Going Home. And this is really all they get. So the whole purpose of me talking to you about this fabric is that I wanted to tell you about the process. So I have to pick the SKUs. That's what they're called. They're called SKUs. These patterns are known as SKU numbers. And I was told that, Free Spirit likes me to do 14 designs, and then they'll narrow it down or they'll take it all. As you know, in Calico Horses, we had 14 SKUs, and I think I did 15 or 16, and they picked 14. So for this particular one, I did additional fabrics that did not make the cut, and I'm going to show you that. But the first thing I want to tell you is that only thing we do with Free Spirit is we send them images. So you'll send them a paper image. So let's just say we just send them a paper image, and I'm saying, this is what they want the fabric to look like. And they say, give me 3 copies. One stays at your house, one stays at Free Spirit's home office, and one goes to the mill. And Beth, this is all they have to work with, a piece of paper. They have a file and a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And now they've got to print it, and they send it back to me. That's called my strike-off. So they'll send you your strike-off. So I got a strike-off 2 months ago, and the colors were not good. They go back to the mill for the second round. They adjust the colors and send them back to me. So, for example, here's one of the fabrics. This is on the move. So this is in migration, and this has all of the animals on the move.
I love that stripy look.
Yeah, this one is turning out to be very bohemian looking. But look at this. Look at this fabric. So you'll see in here monarch butterflies, penguins, terns, caribou, whales, sea turtles.
That's going to be a fun one to work with.
It's a nice big stripy pattern that's really bright. So what they did is they send me this one and they go, oh, Lorraine, printed in wrong color, extra fabric. So this is the kind of stuff that you get with your strike-offs. You get, oh, this is what it first was printed, and I'll show you what it looks like, what they sent me to. So see how this is kind of browny?
Yeah.
See how this is brown? It's supposed to be orange.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we do. We get these sent back to the mill, and we have to say no, yes. And so that's what you're seeing, my strike-offs. So that's all I have to work with. Now, if I was going to Houston, and every year, Beth, you know we go to Houston, and we have to put together a Free Spirit booth quilt. Well, can you imagine? I just got these fabrics last week.
Right.
And I don't even get more than some of them I get a half a yard, and they would like me to create a booth quilt for October if this was happening. So COVID sort of got me out of the fire on that one. So.
Right.
So this is just one of the fabrics. This one is called Friends in Flight. This is Puffins and Monarchs. And what I did with this is that I wanted to give you monarchs that weren't always, monarchs are naturally this color. But I wanted to give you fun teal colors to play with. Puffins are normally black and white, and I gave you magenta, fuchsia, cranberry color, and then we've got some teals going on. I gave you different size puffins, and I gave you different colors and they're going in, you've got a bunch to work with, as you can see.
Yeah.
Nice big print.
Well, and those
And
are
in the
great
background,
for fussy cut for collaging, too.
These are great. These are great for fussy cutting, and then you'll see wings and feathers in the background. So that's called Friends in Flight.
Christy Lee says, why don't they make the quilt? We wish it worked that way, right?
Oh, man. In my contract, Christy, I actually, you have to agree to things. And one of the things I agreed to is I have to provide an inspiration quilt for every market. This coordinating fabric, I love this. It's called Monarch Stripes. And this is all the dots that you would see in the Monarch butterfly. See all this is in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just put this fabric together with all the pretty little petals, wings, and the spots of the monarch. And it's a really nice coordinating fabric, as you can see.
Yeah.
It's a nice piece.
Yeah.
So that's Friends in Flight. That's a striped one. It's just a colorful
Well, it's a great
one.
black and white with just a little bit of something extra and unexpected.
So with that fabric, so remember everybody, I'm going with a theme here. I've got migration going on. So I have the monarch butterfly. Well, the monarch butterfly loves butterfly bushes. Well, here's a fabric that I presented and was rejected. So this is the butterfly bush. It was rejected. And the reason it was rejected is it looks too much because of the cone shape like the lupin. And because I had just done the lupin, they did not go for this. However, they did go for this coordinating fabric that I did, which was the petals.
Huh.
So what I did is I just pulled out all the petals that we saw here in the flowers.
That's kind of interesting reasoning that you had just done it. Yeah.
Well, I happened to, I was going with the whole monarch butterfly bush. The tri-colored butterfly bush is unusual, and that's where I went with it. I thought, man, that looks really, really great.
Yeah.
I love it. And so that's okay. So Free Spirit, you've got it. I have to trust Free Spirit.
Yeah.
They're saying, Lorraine, it looks too much like your last print. We're not going to go with that one. So there you go. But all the work, I want you to see all the work, hand drawing, all these little pieces that they say, no, we're not going to do that. That's how it goes. So that's a lot of time and a maybe, really. That's really what it is. It's a maybe. So the next fabric we have here is, here's one that was rejected. I love showing you these rejected ones. This is just overhead water. So if you were to look as a migratory animal that was swimming or flying over the water, this is the currents, this is the water currents. And it's a really nice coordinating fabric, but it didn't go, it was rejected, and that's okay. So there's your rejection, but here's the one that was definitely accepted. And this is called Overhead Terrain. Hang on a second, I'm doing this with one hand.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to read you some when you want to stop, I'll read you some comments.
You can read them now while I'm told.
Okay. Leilani says, happy Chicky Noon time. Christy wants to know if we could do a one block wonder with the stripy one. I definitely think you could, Christy. We just have to find the repeat, but it definitely has a repeat. So yes to that. Peggy loves the puffins. Christy loves the puffins. They love the stripes. Norma couldn't find her phone, so she's late. Christy says, thank you for showing the fabric. It's nice to see it in real sizes. And Norma loves the butterflies. Christy can't believe it was rejected. Sue says, beautiful. The petals are gorgeous. Love all the vibrant colors. Dorothy Gerard says, love the flower one. Great colors. And Christy wants to know if you're going to break her wallet again. Colors are gorgeous. Pleasant surprise. Love all the fabrics. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Show us some more.
So I'm laying them out next to the other fabric so you can see how much fun this is. But here we have overhead terrain. So you've got canyons. This is a canyon. Mountains. You've got waterfalls. Lake. More waterfalls. More mountains. Forests. More. Look at these trees.
It's like an ice spy quilt.
It's just so much fun. And you know what I'm thinking, Beth? This would be great for hiking, camping, nature lovers, travelers, people that love to travel. This, if you stand back and look at this piece, it's a nice big repeat, but look how colorful and how wonderful it can be for a lot of projects that you're thinking of.
Definitely.
Just this fuzzy cutting of a waterfall alone is fun. And then you've got this other smaller one, which would be, I mean, I could just see this working in a quilt really nice.
Right.
I'm going to have fun with it. And again, I made it really bright colors, and they, just for all of you that bought my Hourfill threads that are Calico horses, they all match this perfectly. They match the Calico horses perfectly. You'll be able to take your fabrics and work with them together. It's an intentional thing I did.
Yeah, I love that. It's got so much going on. So for anybody who loves nature, it's perfect.
I think so. So this is called Migratory Map. I'm going to shake it out here.
Nan says you really outdid yourself this time. She loves it more than the Calico horses.
Oh, thank you. You know, I've heard that, and I've heard other people say to me, I think this is a stronger collection. It might be because, you know, there's a lot more people that connect to this that don't maybe connect to horses, or they're just not horse people or whatever, because the other one was really predominantly horses. But Here we have, Beth, this is what we were talking about. It's a world map, but at the same time it's disguised. As you can see, I've got air currents, water currents. So let's take a look at it. We've got caribou, monarch butterfly, sea turtles, tuna, water that they migrate with the water, the seasons. You've got Arctic terns, Siberian cranes. There's some more caribou up there. And you've got wildebeest. So you've got, what I did was I took the entire world, and if you were to take a snapshot of what it looks like if all the animals were migrating, this is what it would look like. And I brought it to you again. It's some wonderful, fun colors that you can use with lots of other fabrics. It's gonna be a fun collection.
I think so. Lots of ideas. Leilani says the overhead view fabric is great for a quilt that highlights hikers and outdoor oriented people, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kayakers, canoe, all that kind of stuff, because it does mountains, water, lake, river, stream. It really covers a lot of it. So this is the next one. This is actually my favorite one in the line. This is called a Humpback Ballet. And what I did with this, and this is one hand, is I did whales in all different positions. And I have some mother and calf there. Oh, if I can get this camera. Some mother and calf.
Oh, yeah.
Have the tail, that really beautiful tail. I've got a breaching whale, and I pulled in some oranges with that fuchsia. And originally, Beth, this water, I happened to love it, was gold. It was gold and yellow, and they said, Lorraine, you cannot do gold water, it's pee. Oh. So, Free Spirit nicks them, and I tried to fight. I'm like, I want gold in my fabric. And they're like, not in the water. So.
Oh, well, I guess they might have a point. They might have done some market research.
They have done their work. I'm going to go with them,
Yeah.
So here's all different positions of, I gave you a lot of different as you can see for fuzzy cutting, there's a lot of different whales here, a lot of different positions of whales. And I love the fact that I'm able to bring the mother and the calf in there.
Yeah.
Just a fun piece. This is my favorite piece, and maybe it's just me, but I just absolutely love humpback whales. So now the humpback whales, when they migrate, they go to the Arctic. They go to Antarctica, and they go to the Arctic. So here we go. I have all icebergs. So these go wonderful, as you can see. And these are all. Let me take a look at it. Now, when I first did this, Beth, I went real safe colors. I went with teals and blues for ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I really want to punch it and get some yellows and oranges and fuchsias and some bright colors in here that you don't normally see with an iceberg.
Right.
So that's what you're seeing. I really had fun giving you all different. I mean, there must be like 8 different icebergs. I don't know. I did a lot of work here.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, is to give you, I mean, it just goes with everything. It's just, see how the colors pull into all these oranges and reds that are all popping in there.
Right.
It goes with the whales. It goes really good with a humpback whale.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I wanted it that's what I wanted the look and the feel to be.
Right. And are they pretty large scale?
This is, let me get a ruler here. So, can you see it?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, 3 inches.
So that's 3 inches. And then let's look at the whale itself, because I'm thinking like a purse, a center part of a quilt.
Right.
This is 6 inches by, I don't know, I think it's like a 6 by 6 square.
Right. Well, and I love every single piece. It's almost like I've got to incorporate some kind of a quilt or project that I can use every piece.
Yes. The other thing that I don't know, I'm starting to believe that it matters to me. As you know, everything I do is a passion. I do everything with a passion. If I was just doing this to do fabrics, I've got other things to do in my life, seriously. I mean, I love doing this, but I have a life. And I do this to help raise fund and awareness for endangered animals. So every time you people out there purchase this fabric, I want you to know that it's supporting the Marine Animal Response Society that cuts the whales that are captured in nets. It's a small nonprofit. They're located in Canada, and they are boots on the ground. And so this fabric is going to be helping the whales that get caught in the fishermen's nets.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
This is called Animal Tracks. So Animal Tracks is mainly gold. They said, Lorraine, what do you want gold? I said, I'll take this. So
Mm-hmm.
This is my blender fabric. It's a tone on tone. It's got all the tracks of the migratory animals. You can see I even have some horseshoes in there.
And how many colors do you have with the tone on tone? With
the tone on tone comes in 2. It's a purple.
Uh-huh.
Really nice purple, actually.
It's like a blue on mine.
It's actually, it's definitely purple.
Yeah, okay.
It's purple, and maybe putting this next to it will show you the blues and the purples. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Perfect.
There you go. So this is
go.
tone on tone, and it's got gold and that orange. It's like really goes together pretty well. So that are those fabrics. And then I have the Siberian crane. So I love, and you're always going to see in all of my fabrics that overhead view. So this is a migratory Siberian cranes, and if you ever saw them, they're bright white with black tipped wings, and I made them all different colors, and I have them in multi-directional, and the scale on that is pretty nice. There's the ruler on. So that's another really good, just a really good blender fabric for this.
Right.
So the whole fabric line is for nature lovers, in my opinion. I mean, if you love nature, I don't know what's not to love about this. I think it's pretty good.
Right.
I think that's it.
I think it's going to be an exciting challenge to, I almost want to make it into a challenge to see what we can do with it.
Well, that's the fun part, because it's like you have to think outside of the box when you're working with this.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can, let's turn this around. You can start thinking now. That's the fun part about it. I mean, I'm looking at this. It always happens. It always amazes me when I'm working with this, because I'm working on the Calico horses quilt right now that I'm doing with Block of the Month, and it's exciting to cut your own fabric that you designed. You designed it. You're like, oh, this head of this horse looks perfect here.
Yeah.
And until you get into the project. So it's pretty much the same thing with this. I know when I get into this project, I'm gonna have a ball for it. I'm just gonna love it because I don't really make things for myself in my home. I just don't. I work with people, but now I think I have a reason because I want to remember. Right? I want to remember this. It's a great moment.
Right. Leilani says, yes, challenge us. All right, we're going to have to come up with some kind of a challenge. And Nan says she wants to see you and I work together. Gosh, Nan, we work together all the time. But we will. We'll have to come up with some kind of a challenge. And
we were supposed to be in a retreat together.
I know.
We worked together.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Well, one of these days we'll have retreats again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. The world will get back to its senses.
I have, I just got in the mail today. You all know about the patterns that I have, and Beth doesn't have them in her shop yet because the workshop is next week. But we have the koala pattern. Flip that around. That's going to be coming out. This is a fabric collage. This is not chenille. This is just fabric collage. So that is the mother koala and the baby.
Do you have? Is there something over your? Yep, there you go. There you go.
That's better. So that's the koala pattern.
Oh, that's adorable.
This just came in the mail. This is a pumpkin.
Perfect.
So
they can.
That's a workshop.
So they can still sign up for your workshop, right? Or are they full?
What's left in that? The koala's sold out, and that's next week. But this pattern will be available after the workshop.
Perfect.
So that's just the same. I tell you, I love when it comes in the mail. It gets me excited.
Right.
Other people can play and have fun with it. The koala challenge was really successful. We raised over $600 for the koalas. Free Spirit Aurifil I know Aurifil is going to be displaying all of the entries. So they haven't given me when they're doing this. I think it's going to be probably after Labor Day, but they're going to display all of it, announce the winners, and then we'll be shipping out the prizes. But the good news is that everybody's work is going to be seen, and that's pretty cool.
Fun. It was fun to do.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I know Leilani said that the claws were a little difficult because of the I had the hands. I should hid the hands behind the tree.
Right. Well, she could have just put a leaf over it or something. You gave her the ability to use her imagination.
That's right. You should do that. That's what I should have told you to do.
Right.
I did have a lot of people try different things, and I like the fact that they, I said all along, just use a portion of the pattern. You don't have to use the whole pattern. Have fun with it. And people did. They went in different directions with it. I'm going to be doing that probably for migration. I'll be doing something else that'll benefit another animal. We'll do something fun with that as well. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but I'll most likely do that for migration as well.
Perfect. Because you know what? We need a challenge because it makes us actually get going and do it. Otherwise, we just procrastinate.
Now, in the book, there is a sports bag, and that's another thing. So I worked with my pattern designer. I'm going to turn this around. I worked with my pattern designer, and I said to her, I need a bag to represent this. Where is that red thing coming from? I don't know. Oh, it must be the whole. Let me just take this out of the phone holder. Maybe that'll help. Hang on, this might help.
Christy says if you have another challenge, she'll participate. Instead of Christy came, because I waited till the day before to do my koala, and Christy came and just kind of laughed at me the entire time. So next time, Christy, you definitely have to join in. And we can do a Zoom and just have a big party.
Did you go get the white bag? I'm going to send Dean to get a white bag. In the bedroom closet, there's a white bag that Brianna made. Yeah, hanging up. It's where I keep my skirts and dresses and stuff like that. I just said Dean. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about is the fact that you see this wonderful bag. It's got the whales. It's got the petals. It was made specifically to hold water bottles, an iPad. There's an iPad case, soft thing to put. So when you're out hiking, you want to take pictures and stuff, and you have your iPad with you. It was designed specifically for the sports-minded nature person. So it's really a fun project to go with this fabric. What I want to show you is the actual bag that was made. Now, don't forget, I have to present this for the public, right? Everybody has to see my fabrics and what do they use them for. So I have to get a bag made to prototype. So here's the bag that's made. This is the actual bag. This is the bag.
Oh.
So you take the program and digitally map the fabrics onto the bag.
Interesting.
Yes, so it's not really, so I have to have the bag made exactly the way I want it, but in order to get it to look like this, it has to be white. And then if you really look at it, you'll see the shadows in there. It's a lot of Photoshop work.
Right. So that bag wasn't actually made out of your fabric. It's just
No, it's made out of white cotton fabric because I had to manipulate with a Photoshop, go in there and get this fabric.
And then Quirky Bee is going to make a pattern out of it?
Yeah, she already has the pattern available. She's got the pattern available for this that you can make in anybody's fabrics. That's available to her. But the Paradiso pack, it says go to purchase the pattern, go to Quirky Bee. This was something that before I even made this sales kit, I said to Brianna, I need you to design me a sporty bag. And she went and designed one. And that's another back behind the scenes story that we can share with you of how fabric designers, when I have to promote my fabrics and they're not here, they haven't even been made yet. This is what we have to do. We have to hire somebody to make a bag so we can go in Photoshop and make this so it goes on the back. So it goes on this sales kit folder.
Right.
They'd be like, well, what can you make with your fabrics? And I'd be like, well, one day when I get the fabrics. So this is how we do it. We have to do the magic of Photoshop and create this bag. But the actual bag itself is pretty darn nice, Beth.
Right.
It's really nice.
Right.
I love it.
It looks very
bag.
sturdy.
But I'm never gonna use it because it's white. For goodness sakes.
For sure. Mary, it's true. It's better late than never. You just sign in when you feel like it.
Mary.
So then those quilts are also manipulated through Photoshop because you don't have the. Because you didn't have the fabric.
This was never even made. This isn't even quilted. It's a picture.
Right.
And the same with this one. Going home, I had my sister, Patty, who was a quilter. She's a hand quilter. I had her design this, and then we gave it to a quilt person that knows how to use EQ or whatever it's called.
E-quilter, yeah. EQ quilter. Yeah.
Okay, so Patty gave her penciled line drawings of what she wanted, and then the girl took it into that program and made this image for Free Spirit.
Right.
So, and I told Patty, make it simple. It's a nice, simple, easy pattern.
Right.
But it's got all my fabrics.
And that's the truth with your fabrics. You don't want to cut them up into tiny little pieces because the beauty of it is the artwork.
I know. And that first quilt that we had made by Free Spirit for Calico horses was as you told me, because I didn't know the name of it, was a scrap quilt. Scrappy quilt.
Right.
And you were like, Lorraine, it's all scraps. And I'm like, what does that mean? And you said they're not even going to see the horses.
Right.
So that's why I went and I hired another pattern designer and I said, I want to see the horses. That's what's really important. Meanwhile, the pattern wasn't tested. So everybody in my block of the month were all like learning together and going, oh, that's the wrong size we cut.
Wow.
That's been really interesting. So lesson learned for me is never use a pattern unless it's been tested.
Right. No, it's hard for me as a shop owner to kit stuff that I haven't personally made because you're gonna run into issues.
Well, as Nan Willis pointed out, anytime the pattern says 7/8, just make it a full inch.
Right. A full yard. Yeah.
It's like crazy, really, because there's so much. I guess there's so much that goes on with fabric because it bends and it warps and whatever, So
yes,
I'm learning. It's not something that's my forte, as you know. I'm really just a fabric collage person. I think I'm a textile artist. Really.
Yeah. Okay, Connie, we'll put you down for the very first person that pre-ordered.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You know,
That's
Connie.
Good.
Connie wants a piece of everything that comes through this store.
Well, Beth is one of the first people that ordered the entire line. Now, there's other stores that look at it and go, oh, maybe I'll order it later. Well, we found out, didn't we, Beth, that when you tried to order it later, it was gone.
Yes. Yep.
People in Australia still don't even have the Calico horses, and they're complaining. And they've actually contacted me. I'm like, I'm just the designer. I don't take care of mail. But That's what happens in Europe and in Australia. The Americans get it first. You do get it first. And so, yay for that. But if your stores don't order it, if Beth had not ordered it and decided at the last minute to order it, she'd be out of luck.
Right. And I was able to reorder it, but only because I had pre-ordered it and we had pretty much sold out of it by the time it came in. So I reordered it immediately. But otherwise, it was one of the fastest selling lines that I've ever experienced in the 13 years we've had a quilt shop.
I've had multiple stores tell me that. And so they said to me this year, what's going to be the hot one so we can order more? And as Beth and I discussed, like, nobody knows that. We don't have a crystal ball.
Exactly.
We have no idea.
Right.
No idea.
Right. That's why fabric shops have sale fabric, because you just never know what's going to be hot.
Okay, so I got my royalty statements. I want to see a guess. Everybody can guess, unless you already know. What was the number one for the Calico horses fabrics? Which was the number one that outdid everybody else in sales? This is across the nation, across the world, whatever.
I would say the dark. Okay, girls, type it in. But I would say.
Type it in.
I would say the dark blue with the running horses. If I had to guess, that was our bestseller.
We have delayed, I know, so we're just waiting.
Norma, you can't just say horses. There were like 4 different prints with horses. Good job, though, Norma.
There's only like 6 prints with horses in it, Norma.
Oh, Mary Beatty says horses too. You girls are cheater faces.
No, you gotta say something different.
Leilani said the barrel cactus, and Christy Lee said the big horse, and Mercy said the multiple color horses. And Judy says the dark horses. I'm with Judy. I think it's the dark horses. Norma said the big print horse.
Is everybody done guessing?
Mercy said small print. I think they're done.
Okay. Barrel cactus, number 1.
Really? Oh,
Barrel
because
cactus,
that kind of makes sense because cactus are so hot. But I think ours definitely was the dark blue with the running horses.
Dean, was Navy the second selling? The Navy horses, wasn't that the number 2? I think number 2 was the Navy horses.
Yeah.
Navy horses.
We definitely sold more of that.
But the barrel cactus, I was really surprised. Like, I thought it was going to be a horse of some sort.
Right. But, the barrel cactus is you just hit a wider range of people, because people that like horses will buy it and people who don't like horses will still buy it. So.
Now, the ones that are looking straight at you, the Calico Messengers, that was originally on a cream background. And they said, no, fabric stores want to have, they don't like cream backgrounds, they like color in the background. And so they made it a cyan, kind of a bluish background. But that's another thing that we as designers deal with. We have to trust and talk to the art department and work with people that have been in the business for a long time. I've only this is my second line. Migration is my second time ever doing fabric. So I have a say in it. Believe me, I stood my ground. They didn't want. This is the one they wanted to get paid. I didn't even show it to you. Did I show it to you? No, I didn't even show it to you. Oh, it's over here. We have one more SKU. This is the one that they didn't want in the. Let me flip it around here. This is the one that they wanted to nix. So this.
Oh, and that's one of my favorites.
This is Wildebeest. So if you were to go to the Serengeti in Tanzania and Kenya, every year 2 million animals at one time migrate. And this is one of the number 1 animals that migrates, and that's the wildebeest. And they are really a type of antelope. So I have baobab trees in here, acacia trees, and then a sun with the birds going across it. It's just a fun print. And again, it goes with so many of my fabrics. This line really works in great. So when Free Spirit said, well, we think maybe you might want to get, because it's not a cuddly, cute, lovable animal, right? But for migration, if you study migration, and it's not like I have to educate Free Spirit, but they just don't understand. They didn't get it. And I was like, no, it stays. This is going to stay in the line and I gave you a beautiful warm red. This is a gorgeous warm red. I don't know if it's showing up as a warm red.
Yeah.
But when you see it with, let me get the other stripy fabric. When you see it with this fabric, you could see how important it is to this line. Like, look at these fabrics together.
Yeah.
This just goes.
Leilani says she'll need at least 3 yards of the Wildebeest fabrics. But I think that would be a fun one to do a collage with a baobab tree in the background. And
yep, absolutely. And if you ever get a chance, any of you, I think it's on Netflix. It's called Serengeti, and it's a really, really good story, and it tells the story of how these animals, there's something, and I guess I want to talk about that too. I want to talk about the fact that, as you know, we are all Homo sapiens. So Homo sapien means that we are actually animals, whether or not, whatever your beliefs are. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just telling you, science tells you that you're a Homo sapien, which means you're an animal. You have instincts too. So there is a calling that happens with humans. I don't care if it's relational, if it's financial, if it's educational. There's something, that comes a time in your life when you have a calling, and it's time to move now. Now, it could be a toxic relationship, and you're being told it's time to move. I'm just saying to you that there are times in your life that you feel an urge. You can't even put it into words that it's time to move. That's what migration is. So migration is to capture that energy. That's for humans and animals alike, to know that instinctively that you've got to get a move on, whether it's educational and you've got to pursue a career, whether you need to get out of that neighborhood and find a new place to live, or get away from these landlords, or whatever it is. There's something that tells you it's time to move. And that's the energy that went behind this entire line, was that feeling and that urging and that calling that you can't put into words, but now's the time. Now's the time to move. So that's what this whole line is about. It gives me chills to even talk to about it, because whenever I do this work, I mean, Beth, as you know, I'm working on next year's line. I have the next 2 lines already mapped out before they happen. But that's because there's a process in this, and there's also a personal connection I have. I have a deep calling that I'm trying to relay and get out there, a message across the world. So that's what this is about.
Right.
Anyway, so I happen to love
and
this wildebeest.
Me too. Okay, you can't give us like a little sneak preview of what the next line might be? Or do we have to wait?
No, because then you know how it is with Free Spirit. I will get in trouble, and I've signed a contract that they're that's how it goes, people. I would love to give you a sneak peek, but I will tell you this. You will have horses again. You will definitely have horses again, and they're not going to be horses like the Calico horses, only in different colors, like some people do in their designs.
Right,
it's not going to be what I do, because I'm not really big. I'm just a little designer. I'm not that big person. But you're going to have a continuation of the story of the Calico horses.
Perfect. So and you do have a book. You do have a book on the Calico horses and how you got interested in them and all of that, right?
Yep. That's how this all started.
Right.
And it's so funny because when I met with Free Spirit, I had to say, like, I'm an animal communicator. And they were like, uh-huh.
Right.
Okay. So about the art, we know you know how to draw. We can see you know how to draw, Lorraine. So you can go in any direction. And they went over and they said, well, let's look at your art. Because they hadn't even looked at it. Yeah. Let's look at your art. They go over and they look at the art and they just go, let's start with the horses.
Mm-hmm.
The horses. And that's how that came about with Free Spirit. So now, when I met with this line, they just looked at Beth. What's exciting about this is I had all my drawings with me in Houston last year, and I had a meeting with Free Spirit, and I sat down with the creative director, and she just looked at me and looked at the work, and she said, "You're done." And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, that deadline is February 1st, and you are done. You don't have to do another thing. And I was like, so happy.
Yeah. That took some pressure off.
It really did. And she said this line is, she thought it was stronger than Calico horses. She says it's a strong line. So.
Yeah. All right.
We shall see.
So for people that are new, Lorraine Turner, you can join her on Tuesdays with Lorraine on her Facebook page. It's Lorraine Turner, textile artist, right?
Textile artist.
And at what time?
It is at 1 o'clock EDT, which is 10 o'clock, I think, your time.
Yes. Yeah. So you basically talk about your process and how you create on Tuesday with Turner, right?
Yep. So for instance, and this is a print that I'm just sold, but this is one of my prints, and Beth has my prints. So what I will do is I will take original art and explain to you how I created the process in putting all this texture into this piece. And if the piece is sold, or if I don't have it here, then I print out a print just like this one, and I will go over exactly how I did the back, how we did the lace, how we did the background. And this particular piece was, and we did a retreat last year, and we did this particular flamingo.
Yes, we did, and a swan.
And a swan. I forgot about the swan. Yes, we did the swan.
It's hard to keep you quilters on track. Sometimes you deviate and do your own thing.
It's okay. It's okay. We like creative people.
Yes. Yeah.
Thinking outside of the box.
Right.
We love that.
It keeps it interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I don't know what you've all been doing on your COVID adventures. I've been making so many things. I'm making gifts for people because I have to take a break from work sometimes. So I'm gearing up, Beth, to stop everything and do fabric design because I have to finish my Free Spirit fabric design for next year.
Right.
So that means I have to stop all the not nonsense, but all the outside energy that interrupts me because now I'm going to go into fabric design world, and that's not a sewing machine. That's a computer. That's me working with fabric colors and graphics and all of that, and I cannot be disturbed. If I get interrupted, it just throws me. You know the feeling when you're doing long arming. If you get distracted,
it's hard to get back. Yeah.
It's hard to get back. So I'm going to be diving into that shortly after I finish these last webinars for 2020, and then I'm going to be in fabric design land, and that's probably where you're going to find me. So
perfect. So if they want to take a class, you've got openings next week for.
No, I have openings. Well, we have more all about eyes. You can jump in that. That's a 1-hour demo where I'm going to be teaching you how to use Inktense pencils and create dynamic eyes that will go into fabric collage. And I'm going to actually show you the process of after you create the eye, how you put it into the fabric collage.
Perfect.
That's next.
All right. Do girls have any other questions? It was exciting. I haven't talked to you in a while, Lorraine. It was exciting to chit chat.
I know. I'm so glad you're the first store that's ever seen these fabrics. I don't really show. People don't want to take the time to take a look at this stuff. But you know what? I think that the viewers, the people that are going to sew these fabrics, they want to see the actual fabric.
Right.
So this is it.
Well, and I loved learning the process of how you get to the finished product.
I know, and even the white bag. I mean,
right.
There's a big deal that goes into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so if Beth doesn't have a sales rep that comes to see her, you can imagine. Now, just pretend that you are a store owner and you're in, I don't know, Kentucky, whatever. If you don't get somebody that brings you this to look at, and you can flip through it, then all you have is, I guess, Beth, a 1-800 number, and then you have to go on the internet and try to figure out what fabric to buy.
Right. It's hard sometimes. I mean, I don't even know how many different fabric lines we have in the store, but a ton. And I do have a lot of reps that come in and they prejudge what they think I'm going to want to order, so they only show me what they think I want, which is a big mistake. Because you never know what kind of a mood I'm in today or what I'm going to feel like ordering.
And you also have what as I realize, as a budget. So there's only so much in your budget that you're going to say, well, I'm going to be bringing for spring, for fall, for winter, whatever, however you buy your fabrics. And you also were doing a lot of shows, so you're constantly thinking of your market when you're purchasing, right?
Yeah.
Because even having me I was going to be coming to Reno for a retreat, for another workshop. I mean, you bought fabrics knowing that we were going to be doing personal appearances.
Right. You were going to be with me for 3 weeks. It might be good that it canceled. Can you imagine us together for 3 weeks?
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I was. Because that's kind of my time to be inspired and to actually learn. Otherwise, I'm busy just paying bills, ordering, cleaning bathrooms, that kind of thing.
Yep, I know, and I was luckily fortunate to get to see the store because when I was there, we did a road trip. I love that. We did a little road trip and we went to see the fabric chicks, and I got to see for the first time in my life. I didn't know what a wide back was.
Right. Well, because
I've never heard of
Right, and your background is not in quilting, it's more in just being an artist. So quilting's
Right.
kind of newer to you. We have a whole language of our own.
I'm finding that out, like a scant quarter of an inch. What the heck? Just say quarter of an inch. What's a scant quarter of an inch?
Right, exactly. No, I don't know.
And I ask people that, and they're like, oh no, a scant quarter of an inch means you have to make it exactly quarter of an inch. I said, so a quarter of an inch means you can just fudge it?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, we never do anything that's too precise, so we don't worry about the quarter inch. And Mary says, nice to visit with you, Lorraine. Stay focused, stay well. Elizabeth, well, her name's Lisa, actually. Everybody has like 8 names on Facebook. It's hard to keep track of everybody. She says she also loves the stories behind the fabrics. Kathleen says she cannot wait to order these fabrics. Michelle says, can you talk about your meditation for inspiration?
Yes, absolutely. And Beth has my books. I think she still has my books. My meditation for inspiration is extremely, it's everything I use. Who just asked me that? Who asked me this, Beth?
Kathleen, Michelle Fry. She lives up in Tahoe.
Okay, Michelle Fry, because Michelle Fry's on your things a lot, so I know that name.
Yes.
Michelle, everything I do, even today, even this line that you see here comes from meditation. I believe that it is core to everything that I personally do, and I've been doing this since 2009 I started, and the animals started talking to me 2010. So the whole meditation process is to clear, okay, so you're clearing all the energy of interruption. Beth and I just talked about interruption. Once you get interrupted, it's hard to get back into the project. Meditation teaches you to do this, and I'm going to give you an example. You're working on a project, you're involved in doing a project, and the phone rings, and your sister calls, and she says she's coming for a visit. And if you're not able to tune that out, forget the project. I'm able to say, not now, talk to sister later, it's not important, and just go back into the project. Meditation teaches you to do that with many, many things in life, including, and it inspires you, creativity. So if you're in an art project and you're feeling like you can't move or you don't know what to do, walk away from the project. Give yourself a timeout. That's what meditation really is. It's a personal timeout. Give yourself some space. Have a cup of coffee. Go away, whatever. And your inspiration actually comes in the background like a hard drive with like the computer still working. And then you go to sit down and you go, I know the perfect thing for this. And that's my best advice as far as using meditation. Use it as a personal little timeout. Give yourself permission to walk away from the art and let it come to you. I don't go looking for it. It comes to me. And that's the difference. If I was to keep looking, it would wear me out. I just wait for it to happen, and that it always does. These fabrics that I just showed you happen that way. And I'm not saying that I hit a home run with every piece. I don't feel like I hit a home run. But somebody asked me how many, people ask me to see my mistakes and my whatever. I'm like, I don't have mistakes. And I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. I'm just saying that I don't accept it as a mistake. I accept it as a life lesson. There's no mistakes. There's only life lessons. So if you see something in my art that you think is a mistake, oh well.
Right.
To me, it's working for me.
Exactly. Well, and that's all up to people's interpretation. So I think if you like it, you roll with it.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's probably another reason why you'll never see me do photographic art. Now, what that means is I'm not one of those photorealist artists that has to get every feather of the bird and every little line of the fur and all that stuff. I'm an impressionistic artist. I'm implying fur. I'm implying feathers.
Right.
If you see a feather missing, that's on you.
Right.
That's the way I roll. So.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, does that answer your question, I hope?
I think so. Betsy says, what great advice. She's going to try that today. All right, Betsy, we want to see. Post what you're going to experiment on. We want to see it.
Oh, gosh. I would love to do a challenge for this fabric, Beth. We got to think of something fun.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, girls. We will see you on Monday to put the flange binding on the Calico horse quilt we just did. So we will see you on Monday. Thank you.